Welcome to WWH. My name is Andrew Dreamer, and thank you for joining us here today. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never miss any content that we've got coming your way. There's a lot going on in the world right now. There's a lot going on in horror movies and professional wrestling, and that's what this show is going to be. This is basically going to be a weekly roundup talking about all of the news out of our two interests for the week. Now, I'm not going to cover every single piece of news that comes out because that would take a long time, and there's so much coming out every day. So I'm going to hit the biggest talking points, and hopefully, it'll be pretty concise, but it's also going to be very informative and basically create a platform for myself and all of you to talk about our feelings for all of these things, and I'm really excited for it. So, like I said, this is supposed to be a weekly show. Now, whether it actually comes out once a week, I'm not sure. It just depends on, how much time I've got and the news coming out of that week. If it's a super slow news week, then I probably won't. I might, put it in a short form content instead. But with that being said, we're just going to jump right into this. First off, we're going to start with the horror movie news for this week. The biggest thing coming out of this week is Halloween. The return of Michael Myers onto our screens. Now, after Halloween ends, we weren't really sure how long it was going to be before we got news or anything like that, or confirmation of anything, but it seems like we're headed that direction right now. It's been reported that Malek Akkad and Trancas are shopping the Halloween franchise around, and they are very interested in turning it into a TV series of sorts, with Miramax and A24 kind of being in a bidding war for the rights to the franchise right now, and it looks like we're heading towards a TV series. Now, I'll give my opinion on it. I personally don't know how I feel about this being a TV series. The report says that if it turns into a TV series, that Malek Akkad would like it to be set in the universe of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Now, I really like Halloween 3. I think it's an interesting concept, and I would like to see something come out of this. And so if that's what it ends up being, then I'm okay with it. But I have also heard rumors that there is separation between the TV rights and the big screen rights, the theater rights, the cinema rights. And it looks like we possibly could be getting two different Halloween releases. One being a TV series and the other being a feature-length film. Now, in that film, if we do a full-length film, I would like to see Michael Myers return. I want to see a completely new story. I'm not going to be upset if they go back and do some other type of legacy sequel with Jamie Lloyd or anything like that. I think it would be an interesting concept. I don't really know how it would work or if it could work. I know Danielle Harris has interest in it, but I don't know if they can get everything together to make that really work the way that they want it to. So, what I would like to see is a completely new story. Bring in some new characters. Bring in, you can bring in a new setting if you want to. You don't have to. You can still use Haddonfield, but use different characters. And I guess technically if you did this, it would be a sequel to the original, or even the first two of the original films. But just bring in new characters, inject some new life into this franchise, kind of step away from the Laurie Strode saga. We've got some finality in that now. We don't really need to see that character brought back around and introduced in a different way or played by a different person. I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis would ever do another Halloween film at this point, but of course, that's what she said after Halloween Resurrection. I don't know. I just don't see her returning at this point. And honestly, she doesn't need to. There's no story reason for Jamie Lee Curtis to return. I mean, Michael's dead in that timeline. Corey, it looked like he was pretty much dead. I mean, they could do anything. They brought Hawkins back, so I guess they could bring Corey back in a way too, but I just don't see it happening. I would like to see some new characters brought in, and like I said, new life injected into this franchise. And if they go the TV route, sure, let's do something with Season of the Witch. It would be interesting. I don't know how well it's going to perform, but I'm interested in the story and the idea of it. If you want to do it like an anthology, sure, go ahead. If you want to just set it completely in that universe with the Silver Shamrock and everything like that, then I'm okay with that too. But I definitely want Michael Myers back. He's my favorite slasher villain of all time. Speaking of which, go check out my video ranking all the top 10 slasher villains. It's a good one. So go check that out. But I hope that we can get Michael back and do the TV series separately. I think that would be an interesting way to kind of satisfy both sides of the fence. Now, how feasible that is to do both, I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know all of the inner workings of the deals and what exactly is being said. I'm not in touch with all of that completely. But that's kind of what I would like to see. So let me know down in the comments what you want to see come out of all of these talks about reviving the Halloween franchise once again. Let me know if you have any ideas for a new movie or what they could do with the TV series. Just let me know and let's talk about it down in the comments. Now, our next piece of horror news is that Saw X is releasing this Friday. And I'm really excited for it. I'm going to do my best to find the time to go see it. This weekend's kind of busy, so I'm not sure of exactly when I'll be able to get to the theater to see it, but I'm really excited for that. The return of Tobin Bell as Jigsaw John Kramer, I think it's, everything that I've seen, all of the TV spots, all the trailers, it looks pretty good. It looks like a Saw movie, but it looks interesting, and I always like seeing what they come up with to do the traps, and I think it could be good. Now, as far as, story-wise, this franchise is already about as convoluted as it could possibly be, so I'm not really too worried about that. And my guess is that this Saw film is probably going to lead to something more in the future, possibly bringing back other characters, maybe doing some other stories that kind of fit within the current timeline of Saw. And, it is what it is with the franchise. They've done a lot, and this is the 10th movie. It's a very long franchise, and I would have liked to review all of the movies, but I just didn't have the time with what I've got planned coming this October, and it didn't fit into my schedule to be able to review all of these movies before this one came out. But that being said, I'm really excited to see this new Saw film and what they can come up with, what they can accomplish with it. Hopefully, the story actually has some merit and reason for existing, and it's not just something that they threw together to, just to put another Saw movie out there for the world. I don't like when production companies do that. I don't like when distributors want to put out stuff like that. I want there to be a reason for films to exist. And if you can't come up with a reason, just let it lie. We don't have to have another Saw film if it's not going to make sense, if it's not going to fit in the world and feel like it matters. So that's kind of my spiel on that. So again, let me know in the comments what you think about Saw X and if you're looking forward to it, or if you think that there could be something in the future come out of this film. But for now, we're going to switch to the professional wrestling side of the news. Now, over the past week, the biggest thing that has really come out are all of the WWE releases. They've released several superstars. Probably the biggest shocker, two biggest shockers being Dolph Ziggler and Matt Riddle. Now, Riddle makes a little more sense given his recent controversy and all the controversy over the past couple years. I'm not going to go into that. I am not equipped or knowledgeable enough about everything that's gone on with him to really state an opinion about it. but he is no longer with the company, and same goes for Dolph Ziggler and several other people. I'm not trying to, gloss over any of their releases. I'm just focusing on these two big ones because they are the biggest names on the list. Dolph Ziggler's been with the company for a very long time. He seemed like one of those people that would never be released. He seemed like he was going to be with WWE for life, or as long as he really wanted to. I know he's not really been on TV as much. He's also doing his, his stand-up comedy thing, which is great. And I hope he's, enjoying himself with that, and I hope he's okay. And if he wants to go wrestle somewhere else, like if he wants to go to AEW and do a program with his brother, Ryan Nemeth, then I'm okay with that. I think that would be pretty interesting. But it shocked me that they would release somebody who is essentially just a quintessential workhorseman for the company. Somebody who can go out there and have basically a very good match with anybody. The way he sells everything to perfection. And he even had a theme song called I Am Perfection at one point. But he was very talented. He is very talented. And I really enjoyed watching him perform. He's entertaining as crap. And he's going to land on his feet somewhere. And hopefully it's sooner than later. I want him to weigh his options, figure out what's best for him and his family, and make a choice. And if he decides to not wrestle, if he decides to just focus on comedy, then, more power to him. Good. I hope he enjoys it, and I hope he does well with it. Same thing for Matt Riddle. I don't ever want to see somebody, ruined or anything like that. Now, whatever's going on with Matt Riddle, I hope he gets the help he needs if he needs it. And that's all I'm going to say about Matt Riddle. And another person that I didn't mention yet, but I'm going to mention now, is Mustafa Ali. He was released a week before he was supposed to have a championship match at No Mercy. And now they're forced to backtrack and come up with a new opponent. That didn't make a ton of sense to me, but that one seemed like it was a bit more amicable. He's requested a release in the past and they didn't give it to him, and now they have come to terms on his release. So again, I hope he lands on his feet, and I hope he is able to go find himself work somewhere else and perform to the level that he is capable of, because he is a very, very good professional wrestler. So that's kind of my hope for that. But in our last piece of news for today is going to be Randy Orton. There was a video that surfaced recently of Randy Orton showing up at the Performance Center. That's good news for me. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And to see him walking into that Performance Center, he looked excited. He looked like he was ready to get in there. I can't wait to see him back in the ring. I hope that, this is something that's okay given his back issues. I don't want to see him get hurt anymore. I hope he's healthy and he's okay. But I selfishly, as a fan, I'm excited to see him back in the ring. I don't know, exactly what story they're going to tell with his return or anything like that. But I'm really excited to see him back. I want to see him RKO somebody. And again, I'm just really excited. So let me know down in the comments, once again, what you think about all of the WWE releases and what you think about Randy Orton's return. Also, wasn't sure if I was going to mention this, but I'll just go ahead and mention it real quick. Jade Cargill has signed with WWE and has shown up at the Performance Center as well. And they're kind of hyping up her debut as something huge. Again, she was in AEW and she went on her undefeated Goldberg-like streak, and now she is signed with WWE, and I think she's going to do great things. So that's all I really have to say about that. That being said, that is our news for this weekly roundup. But again, let me know down in the comments what you want to see out of a show like this. If you have any ideas or anything like that, let me know. I would love to hear from you all. Let's have some conversation about all of these topics in the comments down below. Go over to Patreon, become a member of the WWH Universe. There's some really cool perks there. I would love to have you all. Like I said, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, leave a like on this video, and I will see you next time on Wrestling with Horror.